In the 1st and 2nd century BC, the Bedminster area was thickly populated by an ancient British or Celtic tribe called the Dubonni, and that name might have given Devonshire and Dorset its name, because it reached well into the west of England and also into Gloucestershire. By this time, the Iron Age people, with their iron tools and weapons, had begun to clear the lowlands, drain the marshes and cut down the forests, and were living most of the time in the lowlands. But it was a time of great insecurity, a lot of infighting, and in times of emergency these tribes would move to their hill forts on the hilltops, which were more easily defended, and they would bring with them all their cattle, their livestock, their women and so on. And there was a cluster of these round the Avon Gorge, which was an important crossing point, but the most important of them was here on Maze Knoll at the very eastern end of Dundry Hill.
For an insight into real life in Bedminster during the last century, there can be few better eyewitnesses than Alfie Giles. He was born in January 1919, less than 2 months after the armistice which ended the First World War. He has lived in Bedminster all his life.
I was one of 9 siblings, and my father worked on the GWR in Templemead Station. Life was very, very hard for not only our family, but for every other family. Now, we had 9 siblings in our family, but some families had as many as 14 or 15 children. But nevertheless, even though we were a very large family, we had sufficient to eat, because Mother very often used to go without food herself to give to her children, which was commonplace.